The United States Supreme Court ruled against affirmative action in college admissions. In a case involving Harvard and the University of North Carolina, two of the oldest colleges in the country, Ivy Leagues no less, the court said colleges could no longer use race as the determining factor in whether or not they were granted admission. In practice, that meant Blacks and Hispanics were more likely to be admitted than those of Asian or white heritage, everything else being equal. A little history. Brown versus Board of Education ended the Plessy versus Ferguson legal doctrine of separate but equal. For reasons obvious to anyone who actually looked, separate and equal was not equal. All Black schools on the wrong side of the tracks didn't provide the kind of education available to all white schools in the suburbs, for instance. Brown said that public education must be made available to all on equal terms. In 2003, Justice Sandra Day O'Connor in her opinion, made an exception. It was in Grutter versus Bollinger. It watered down Brown to allow affirmative action that we have lived with for the past 20 years. O'Connor herself said that in 25 years, affirmative action would no longer be needed. The Roberts Court just shortened that to 20 years, saying eliminating racial discrimination means eliminating all of it. If it were not for the fact that the vast majority of colleges in the United States accepted federal aid either directly or in the form of aid to students, affirmative action would not be much of much interest to us as libertarians. We believe that the First Amendment provision for freedom of assembly implies the freedom to assemble with whomever you wish. If a person wished to assemble with a student body more heavily weighted to people of color, we're fine with that. Where libertarians and most other people have a problem is when we must, as taxpayers, fund the education of students with lower academic qualifications at the expense of students with higher academic qualifications. That's what affirmative action does. The 22 or so colleges in the United States which do not accept government funding in any way are free to practice affirmative action however they want to, and we have no problem with that either.